Hey, it's Nicola, and in this video we're gonna be tackling all of the possible admin types that you will encounter as the Jira admin. Now, as Jira admin, you're gonna be everything. So, let us start first with the type of admin who has the highest possible permissions on your whole site, and that is the organization admin. So the organization admin is actually the admin who can manage all of your sites. Now, you have organization and you have a site. Multiple sites, are actually one organization. So how do we actually know this? So we know this if we go for the administration here, and within this administration I'm gonna be seeing it's saying like select the organization. Yeah, that's correct. So I have like multiple organizations in here because that is how I created this. And if I actually go here, all right, ignore this. So for the products, it's gonna say now that I have one site in here. So if you actually want, you can go ahead. So your organization admins. So first, let us start with the overview and everything. So they're the ones who can manage users and groups. They're the only ones who can actually do this. So this actually means inviting the users to your Jira site. So they're actually the ones who can actually do this. They manage users, manage groups. Also, if there is option for the manage accounts, and if there are actually verified domains, they can also access this part, which are the managed accounts, where you basically, with your domain, you're claiming that specific user or the users. So now, right here on the right side, what I'm actually having is going to be the regular Jira user, and that regular Jira user is this one. So what we can actually do as the org admin here, we can actually give the product access. So what actually this means? This actually means that I can make this user as org admin as well, or the site admin. As the org admin, I have this option where it says assign admin role. So this is actually something that I can do, and this user becomes the organization admin as well. So that is one thing. The another thing that I want you to know is, of course, they have access to the products, and something that they can actually do in here, they can manage this part of the user access settings, where they can manage the approved domains, user invites, and the invitation links. In here, when it comes to the approved domains, you can add your own custom domain, which you can actually verify. The most common way to actually do this is with your DNS records. So, and when there is a domain that has been added in here, that actually also means that when you have the users that are going to be invited under that specific domain, they're gonna get the access automatically, and they're gonna be appearing under the managed accounts. But also for this, usually what comes is the identity provider. This is something that product admins can do as well. So basically, like the identity provider, think of it like the external Active Directory that you can set up, and where you can actually synchronize your users from that Active Directory to your it first goes from Active Directory to the Atlassian Guard, then from there it goes to actually the Atlassian. So that is like another layer of security that you can do. Org admins can also manage this part in here for the product invitation permission. So when it comes for Jira, for example, they have like these 4 options in here where it says require admin approval, and this is by the default. So it says unable to invite anyone, can request access for anyone from any domain, which actually requires org admin approval. This one also requires org admin approval, and this one also requires org admin approval. For the invitation links, so this is something that org admins can set as well. So for example, if I want to use Jira in here, it means that I can invite my users by generating this link, and I can actually send them this link through Slack or something like that if they're not already part of the Jira. You can also go manage the product URLs. They can look at the product updates, release tracks, and if you have the premium version of the Jira, you can also create your sandboxes that actually are going to simulate the real production environment. They can also access the audit logs. They can also manage the authentication policies. They can also set up the single sign-on, as well as you can see here, secure organization users, where you're connecting your identity provider, and this is powered by the Atlassian Guard. So this means that you also need to have the Atlassian Guard license in order to set up your identity provider. Organization admins also have well, currently it seems like I'm having some issues right now. It just won't show this. Okay, failed to load products. It's saying 3, please try again later. Maybe there is some maintenance in here, but usually when it comes to the billing, they can also see the billing. But also, you can set up your billing admins, which are like the admins who have the access to the billing part. For the settings as well, you can see that they're also for the details. If they actually want, they can delete the organization, but this is something that they can do if they remove all of the products from the administration, and also revoke all of the users from the group memberships of those products as well. So this is something that is really powerful in here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to back to my user here, and I'm going to grant this user, and you're going to see what I'm going to do here. I'm going to grant them a second, let's say, admin that is like in the hierarchy right there in terms of power, and those are going to be the site administrators. When it comes to the site administrators, they have the option to actually go around, and they can poke with the users and groups, but they don't have options such as to let's say add some of the products. They can actually see the products, but they cannot actually add the new products, and we're going to see that just now. So I'm going to assign the site admin role, and I'm going to grant the site admin role to this user, and it's saying that this user is now a site admin. So this means that they have access to all of these products right here, since they're actually being the site admins. So if I refresh this right now, and if I go back here, So we're going to see a change that happened. So now it's saying that this person is a site admin. If I actually click on settings, well, now is nothing happening. Okay, still nothing. It takes some time for it to actually get the changes. All right, anytime now. Let me just see in here the site admin. Yeah. Oh, if you try to do this, Jira user access, Jira users, Confluence users. Okay, it's really interesting because I cannot actually see them within the group of site admins because they need to be part of that group in order for changes to take the place. So I'm going to add them to site admins group. Okay, yeah, there we go. Site admins, they're going to be here. All right, so if you don't see the changes right away, I would suggest to you to actually add them to the site admins group so the changes should take the place. Okay, still nothing. I don't know why is it like this. Contact your Jira admin, but why? I don't need to. Okay. And they're part of the site admins. And if I click on here, these are the users that are actually the site admins right here. And also what is also going on is, as you can see, for the Jira administration, they have been granted the product admin access. So this also means that they automatically become the Jira admins. The question is, how do we know this? So I'm going to show you that if I go to my projects in here, if I go to the system, and if I go to the global permissions, within the global permissions, the very first permission that we're actually seeing is administer Jira permission. This actually means that the users who are part of this group, they have the Jira admin powers, if I can say it like that. So administer Jira are granted to site admins, to both site admins and both to organization admins. So that's why I'm able to see this in here. Okay, now as you can see, it refreshed, and this is what the site admin can see. Do you notice what is actually missing in here? So if I compare these two, you're going to see that they are missing this Atlassian admin part. So they are missing this because, like I said, only organization admins, okay, only org admins are able to manage the users and the groups. So if I try to go to the administration here, so this is something that I have in here. As you can see, if I try to go in here, and it will actually go in there. Why? Because I granted the site admin rights for this specific site, and I can see these products in here, and I can see these sites in here because I'm the site admin for these as well. If I go to the products in here, so now when I go to the products, what is actually going to happen is I have option now to access the users in here. If I want, I can invite the users. I can also export the users. If I go to products, there's one thing that is actually missing in here, and that is I cannot add the products, and also I cannot link Bitbucket, and I cannot update the landing product because This is something that org admin only can actually do. And if I try to go to the security, it's saying we're unable to let you in because you don't have this permission. And also for the settings, I'm not able to do this as well. Now, the interesting thing for the site admins, what they also can do is they can look actually for the apps and they can install the apps if they actually wanted to do so. So if I go for the Easy BI, for example, so I'm the site admin here, and if I want, I can install the app and it's gonna go totally fine. So that is another thing that I can do as the site admin. Now, as you can see, as the site admin, I can look around all of these things like the org admin has. So that is something that I can actually do. And the thing is, if I go for the user management right here, okay, and if I look around, so these are also the organizations that I have access to. So it's like almost pretty much the same, but the difference is I can access all of those settings, where as the site admin I cannot actually do this. And sometimes this happens because for this instance, sometimes it installs the apps, sometimes it doesn't install the apps. So it really varies there. So those are the site admins. So if I actually go to issues here, I can add an issue type. I can do all of those things. If I go here, for example, so I'm actually the site admin. The question is, can I add the users here? I can add the users. I can remove the users from the project. Even though I'm not the project administrator, I can do all of those things. So that is something that is interesting. Another question is, can I, as the site admin, create company managed projects? The answer is going to be yes. Yeah, I can do that. I can go for test and I can create my own projects. Okay. So this is what I got. Of course, I don't see the boards in here. You're having trouble connecting to your boards. Okay, that's funny. And if I go here for people and I add some of the people from here, I'm gonna add myself as admin. And this is adding myself as admin, but not like the admin as the site administrator. This is something else. Okay, there was kind of a glitch right there. So that is something else. So once you're actually the site admin, you're also the Jira admin as well. So who are the Jira admins? Basically, the Jira admins are those who have the administer Jira global permission, and those who have the Jira Administration product admin role. So they're the ones who can actually see these Jira settings. They're actually the ones who are setting up workflow schemes, the screen schemes. They're also the ones who are setting up the things like issue type schemes. So all of those great things. But there's something that Jira admins cannot do, and that is they cannot manage the users, they cannot import the data, and they cannot edit the system email settings. So what actually this means? This means if I go to system here, and there is option for the email, right? Global mail settings. So this is something that they cannot do. So this is something that we're also going to test. So I'm going to go for the user management, and within the user management I'm gonna look for this specific user. So they're not gonna be the site admin anymore, so I'm going to revoke this role. So they're not the site admin anymore. I'm gonna leave the product admin option in here. So for the Jira administration, I'm gonna leave this. And the thing, so I still don't see the users. That's why, because Jira admins cannot manage the users. There is another thing that they cannot import the data as well. So let's see if that is true. See, I don't have any import options in here. So I don't have like import and export. So there is like backup manager or something like that. So this is something that I don't really have. And as you can see from here, you see the differences. So I have the import Jira Cloud and import Jira Server, but in here I don't have these options in here basically. For the email, actually, for global mail settings, well, as you can see, this is something that they can set up. So for this option, they cannot edit system email settings. Well, this is something that I can actually see. If I go to general configuration, email from, so full name Jira and everything else. Okay, yeah, so edit the settings. If I actually go email from, okay, product recommendations, advanced settings. So these are the advanced options. So this is something that you don't really wanna mess with, because if you mess with this, there is a probability that you're going to break your instance. So be really careful when you're actually going with this. Okay, so those are your Jira admins. Then we have the project admins. Jira admins can also see all of the projects, even though if some projects were actually created to be private. What actually this means, if there is a team managed project where the access has been set to be private, Jira admin can go right ahead and they can actually see this project in action. All right, so we almost covered everything. Project administrators. The good thing about the project administrators now, for this specific project, is project administrators, they can actually do some of the things, right? So for example, let me go back to user management right now, and let me just revoke the role of the Jira admin, and let me just leave this user to be the project admin of project that they have. So product admin, I'm gonna revoke this as well, so they're not gonna be product admin for Jira anymore at all. Okay, so the thing is, for the project administrators, now there is some kind of a sense of power, if I can actually say, that was given to them by introducing the two permissions. So if I go for the project settings in here If I go for the permissions, so this is the thing. So administer the projects, and it's saying ability to administer a project in Jira. The thing is, when it comes to this now kind of makes sense. Why? Because there are two permissions that have been added in here, which actually give more sense of power to project admins. One is to edit the workflow permission, and the second one is actually to edit the issue layout. So those are the two permissions. Now I don't know why I don't see edit workflow. Okay, so it seems that permission is not there. So now it's not there. Okay, why? Did something happen that I didn't know? Because this was introduced like really recently. Okay, so the change wasn't that really far away from that. Let me just check. Let me just check software project. Let me go for here. Let me also go for project settings, permissions. Okay, it seems like... Okay. It seems like that this permission was deleted. Okay. Because there were actually a lot of things, a lot of people that were complaining about this, because let's say you have a workflow that is being shared across different projects. And how is this being done? This is being done when you're actually creating a new project. And when you create a new project, new company managed projects that only can be created by the Jira administrators. This is something that I forgot to mention. This is they can get created only by them. That is one thing. And the second thing is that when the company managed project gets created by the Jira admins, there's this option where you can actually select and where you can say I want to share the settings with a different project, and then you specify the project. So it's going to be sharing a lot of things, almost everything that is covering the schemes, except their users are not going to be shared. So that is something that you would need to add manually to your project. Also the components are not going to be shared, and also the versions are not going to be shared as well. So those three things are not being shared, and you would have to do them manually. The thing is, when you have the shared settings, what happens is if you actually make a change on one workflow, it's going to be reflecting on all of the projects. So imagine if you actually give this to someone, and actually someone makes a change by mistake. When it comes to the workflow, it can actually disrupt all of the other workflows that are sharing that one workflow. So yeah, it seems like these permissions were removed, and now basically, well, your project administrators, well, what they can do now, basically they cannot do a lot of things. So first of all, they cannot change the project key. They cannot actually do this, and they cannot also change the category. So this is something that cannot be changed at all. That's one thing. The second thing is they don't have that access to. They cannot, if they want to change any kind of scheme or something like that, they cannot do this at all. The only thing that they can actually do is they can create automation rules. They can do this. They can add people to the projects. They cannot really change permissions. They cannot change permissions at all, because when you go here and when I go to let me see if I have, yeah, of course I do. So when I go here, as you can see, as an org admin, I can go ahead and I can change the project key, and also I can change the category. So as project admin, I can do that. I cannot do that. So I'm really limited as project admin for the things that I can do. And this is something that and as you can see, for the actions, I can edit the permissions, or I can use a different permission scheme. And I can also use the permission helper that actually can help me out and say, you know what, I want to see why a certain user doesn't have some certain permissions in here. So for the automation rules, sure, I can change them, but look at this. If I want to try to go with the workflows, there are no actions in here. I cannot do anything. Issues, I can change the layout. So if I go and say edit issue layout, yeah, this actually could be something in here, right? Hidden fields in this area that are not in this view, and hide when empty. And I can say, yeah, you know what, story points, and I can say save this. But for screens, in order to actually have screens being applied and everything, I cannot do much. Fields, that is the another thing. I cannot change anything in here. I cannot use a different field configuration at all. For the issue security, I cannot change to have a different issue security scheme. And there's these issue collectors. Well, basically, this is actually something that I can do as the project admin. I can have the issue collectors, where basically where you actually get feedback based on the issue, like stats and everything, based on the filters, right? So those filters are gonna be emailed to me and everything like that. I don't know who even uses this feature, to be quite honest, and I believe 90% of people aren't even using issue collectors. Issue security, I cannot do anything in here. Components, I can add the component as the project admin. Now I don't want any feedback. I want to create a component in here, so I can say project admin. I can set a component lead if I want. Yeah, there we go. Default assignee and project lead, for example. And yay, there we go. We have created a component, and basically that is it. Nothing more, nothing less that you can actually do. So there are other types of admins that are kind of worth mentioning. There is a space administrator. Space administrator is actually used in the Confluence. So this means that basically they can do everything, and they can actually access those space settings. They can go for the users, they can go for the groups, they can make the space anonymous, which actually means that it can be accessed by anyone on the internet. So that is something that space administrators can actually do, but the solo the focus in here is basically on the Jira itself. So guys, this is everything that I wanted to show you for the types of administrators that you actually have. And this is something where you start from for the Jira administration, understanding the types of admins that are actually out there. So this is it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.